morning, and welcome to the new look to Up Top with myself, Gav Mack and Florian Wolfrum. How are you, dude?
Good morning. Regarding the Bundesliga match day yesterday, I'm not that good because my team lost Champions League, but seeing you in the morning is one of the best things, so I'm fine.
Oh, stop it. Oh, you make me feel so good when I feel so terrible myself. Hay fever's absolutely ruined me of late, but yeah, I'm sure I'll be fine. Right, on today's show, we are literally just breaking down everything that happened last night in the Bundesliga. It's funny I say this. I haven't got my notepad, so I can't believe I've done that. But yeah, we'll be starting to break down some games. So let's talk about your boys. You got out there with a 1-0 win with Kevin Volland, who scored the opener, and it was the only goal of the game. I expected a little bit more from Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah, I believe the game ended when Gladbach scored the leading goal for them a couple of minutes later, because the players realized that they played very wild in the first minutes, scored the goal, did what they had to do, and when Gladbach started scoring, the game for Champions League was over. So the whole Leverkusen match against Mainz was wasted after a couple of minutes, after 10 minutes.
Yeah, very true.
It wasn't interesting anymore.
The goal was quite a lucky goal, wasn't it? You know, the bounce wasn't intended, but then he took it really well, Kevin Volland.
Yeah, but it was also a piece of skill, I think, the way he lets the ball pass through his legs.
Oh, from Volland himself, yeah, but yeah. It's the way the ball got to him in the first place. I felt was a little bit lucky, but what Volland did with the ball at his feet was pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. I'm absolutely with you.
Big game for you guys next week. You got Bayern Munich in the Pokal final. How can you see that one going?
Oh, very difficult, but we have nothing to lose in this game. Most of 9 from 10 matches Bayern Munich will win, so I hope this will be maybe the 10% chance for us to win a game. And it would kind of fit to Bayer Leverkusen to win a title in such an atmosphere. Now, the last time we won the DFB Pokal, it was 93 against the second team from Hertha Berlin. So the whole stadium, the whole country was against us. It's like, usually no one wants us to win a title, and now we win a title with no spectators in the stadium. This would fit to Bayer Leverkusen. So I've got a little hope. And I guess I'll be in Berlin, although I won't be at the stadium.
Yeah, of course, social distancing still being measured completely. So yeah, you guys ended up missing out on the Champions League at the expense of Borussia Mönchengladbach. Gladbach, they won 2-1. Goals from Hoffman and Mbolo, which put the game to bed. And then I like to call it, as everyone knows, the evergreen Vedad Ibisevic at the end of the game there, because he's just older than time, isn't he? but Mönchengladbach, you know, they were put back in the driving seat after the slip up from Bayer Leverkusen last week, and Mönchengladbach will now be playing Champions League football. Hoffman, he got himself on the score sheet again. That's a couple of goals in his last few games as well. And Bolo, he's looking like he's able to put a little bit of his injury issues aside now, and able to try and get a run in the side for next season.
What were your thoughts when Mbolo changed the club to Borussia Mönchengladbach last summer from Schalke? Because what were your thoughts about that transfer back then?
Well, Schalke, who knows what Schalke are at the moment? We've got a section on our English show called What Are Everton? And we could probably ask the same thing for Schalke, really, because Schalke, over the years, they're not going to win the title anytime soon, but they've been up there challenging. They've qualified for Europe a few times, but they let go of a lot of players in the last 18 months. And someone of Mbolo's quality, they really should be keeping hold of him. I know he's got injury issues and things like that, but there's been some names that have left Schalke over the last 18 months, and it's like, Schalke should really be counting themselves lucky that their early season form was good enough, because they would be in this situation what Dusseldorf or Werder Bremen are, or Mainz, waiting for the last game of the season to try and save themselves.
I have to admit that when Mbolo changed to Gladbach, I didn't expect him to perform such a good season with the team.
The thing is, he's almost like
quite cheap.
Yeah, he was quite cheap, but he's also a relatively bit part player as well, isn't he? Because end of the day, when Gladbach are playing full strength, they will have two up top. Nice plug, with Alassane Player and Marcus Thuram. So if you are Hoffman and if you are Mbolo, you need to remember that you're not going to start every game, but you also need to be able to perform when you are called upon. And both players have been able to do that, and I think that's really impressive.
Yeah, that's true. And Gladbach absolutely earned Champions League this year, 65 points. So it was a great season.
Mm-hmm.
And 63 points also for Leverkusen, who were the best fifth place in Bundesliga history.
Oh, really?
But was the most points. Before it was Hamburg with 61, I guess, 10 years ago. But 65 points, absolutely a quality team. I remember champions in Germany with 65 points.
Wow, there you go. It's a bit like in the Premier League, isn't it? Like last season, Liverpool coming second with 97 points. That would have stormed 20 of the 23 Premier League titles. You know what I mean? But I remember when Man United won their treble season, they won the title on 79 points.
Back in 99.
Back in 99, 79 points. Arsenal came second on 78. It's just. Whereas 78, you'd be pushed for a top four finish now with those sort of numbers. 1 second, babe, can you grab my notepad, please? Yeah. Thank you. and yes, Tyrone, I am normally very organised. Thank you very much for that. I think I was just a little bit too excited with the new kit, so I just had to get on with it. Thank you very much, and the squiggler as well. It's my glamorous assistant, good old Clary. Right, so Mönchengladbach, they are playing European football in the Champions League next year, and I believe that they'll go straight into the group stage now as well, because Germany are one of the top tier sides now, so all the top four will go straight into the group stage. Obviously, Bayern Munich will get their seeding, and who knows, Leipzig could get a seed in place as well if they go on and win the Champions League. Going back to Leverkusen for a couple of moments, you have got, is it Rangers in the next round of the Europa League?
Exactly.
How do you fancy your chances of winning the Europa League?
I'm pretty confident. Pretty confident. We had a discussion yesterday with the lads, and Leverkusen has one of the best possibilities. We have a good team, and what shouldn't be underestimated is the fact that the tournament is played in our region, and that we play in stadiums which are like a half an hour away from us, and the other teams have to travel to North Rhine-Westphalia and looking for a training ground somewhere, maybe have their training facilities at a third or fourth league club, which aren't playing anymore. And we are very comfortable. We are in our home. We have our training facilities right next to the stadium. We have short ways. We have our hotels. We have our routines. That's a huge point for us. Mm-hmm. And we are very lucky to have a break now, I think. The players can rest for 2 weeks. It's quite okay. They won't lose any condition or something like that, and then we can focus on the Europa League and go fresh and rested into the Rangers match. I'm sure we will win this match because we had a good match at Ibrox, and Rangers have, I don't know, break for 5 months, something like this. There's no excuses. We have to win the match.
Yeah, Rangers haven't been playing any football of late, whereas you guys have been out there playing competitive football and in a challenger position. So I think you'll beat Rangers, and I think you've got a decent chance of making it to.
Yeah, and it's only 3 matches, 3 wins.
Exactly, because it's all over one leg now. So yes, who knows? You could be playing Champions League football next year. So
maybe, but the title is more important.
Yeah. Very true.
Champions League football is nice to have, but winning a title would be massive for us. We are lacking for a title for nearly 30 years now. Wow.
Well, I don't want to
A
go
little bit
through
like
that amount of
Liverpool,
time.
just
Yeah, I was going to
very
say.
small.
We're like, I'm an Arsenal fan, as you can see. We're my bruised banana on, and I don't fancy going that amount of time without winning a trophy of real importance. You know, I want to get a European trophy. I want to win the league. It's not going to happen anytime soon, but you never know. The team that has won the league, we all know they won the league already. They won it about 24 weeks ago, was Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, they won in style, to be fair, 4-0 away from home at Wolfsburg, who have slipped into 7th spot now. So now their season is going to be starting very, very early. The goals came from, as you can see on the screen there, Kingsley Coman. He scored the opener. Cuisance just before half time. Lewandowski with the penalty and Gerd Muller, Thomas Muller, 11 minutes before time. There was a red card in that game as well. That was a second yellow for I can't pronounce his name. Guilavogui. There you go. Thanks very much for helping me out on that one. Bayern Munich, we all knew that they were going to go out and win this game, but what I am quite surprised about is the fact that since they've won the title, they've gone out relatively full strength every game.
Yeah, and that's the main difference between the team of Borussia Dortmund and the team Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich, they have mentality. They want to win every game, especially like Lewandowski, who wants to score goals to become a top goal scorer. Thomas Müller wanted to assist because he wanted to become the all-time top assister.
Yeah, that's right. Well, he's got that record now.
In Bundesliga history, yeah, that's the difference between Bayern Munich and Wolfsburg. They are always motivated. They always want to be the best. They have the huge fight for the positions inside the squad because everyone wants to play, so everyone has to play his best game. And Borussia Dortmund, they're just like, I don't know, a lazy piece of shit from my point of view. What they played was unbelievable. Dortmund and Cologne, wow, horrible character, horrible squad.
We're coming to those two teams in a bit because there's a little bit of embarrassment going on there, I tell you. The pick of the goals had to be Cuisance. Is it that from about 25 yards out? What a strike that was. Lewandowski, yes, as I said, from the spot. The second yellow that was given. And then, Muller, he found his way on the end of a cross and was able to get on the score sheet as well as get himself an assist. And I thought that was he's a brilliant player still. He's one of those players where he doesn't excel at anything in particular, but he's an all-round good player. I remember, I'm not really a big FIFA fan, but I remember his FIFA card, and it was like 91, but nothing was really high.
Nothing was particularly good. Yeah.
No, because he hasn't got any pace. You know, he can't.
He has no strength.
He can't run. He's got no. Yeah, he's got nothing. Like, his fitness is but somehow it all just molds together and makes him a brilliant footballer, and it works. And yeah, Bayern Munich, they took no prisoners whatsoever, and they're going into the game next week in a lot of form. I know it's a one-off game, so it's just dependent on which Bayern Munich mentality turns up. I'm going to find it really difficult seeing a Leverkusen win, but I'm behind you. I'll support you as much as I can, Flo. You know what I mean? You were talking about mentality. One team that seriously lacked mentality, Borussia Dortmund. And I've always had a bit of time for Borussia Dortmund because I love Jurgen Klopp. I don't like Liverpool, but I love Jurgen Klopp, and I don't think anyone is secret to that. They lost 4-0 at home to Hoffenheim with 4 goals from Kramaric. And Hoffenheim now, with that victory, leapfrog Wolfsburg into 6th spot, and they are now the leaders of Europa League in that situation there. They'll be able to get into the group stage. No, they're not, because Leverkusen, they're in the group stage, aren't they? Obviously, by coming 5th. But we need to have an inquiry into Borussia Dortmund and find out what the hell has gone on here, because Dortmund started off really well and they almost scored quite early on from the corner where Julian Brandt flicked it on, and the goalkeepers had to come out and make a really good save because Haaland's at the end of that, ready to stab it home. And then only a couple of moments later, literally, I think it was the same attack. Kramaric from 22 yards out thought, "No, I'm having this," and he's gone straight past Berkey for 1-0. He scores again to make it 2. He's read the offside trap really well there, and then a brilliant slow motion cutback, which found Kramaric again for his hat trick. I know it was game over at 2-0, but then the penalty is so that how can you be given a penalty
Savage.
for that?
What? But how you took the penalty was better.
Oh,
I love
yeah,
that.
very true. But
No look penalty.
Can you blame Berkey a little bit on that? He's got hands on it. It's sort of gone underneath him.
It looks very terrible for the goalkeeper because if the goal scorer isn't watching, looking at the ball, it wasn't a good penalty. It was just like wasn't very strong. It was in the same corner. It's unlucky, like Buffon in 2016, the European Champions quarterfinal against Germany when Jonas Hector scored a horrible penalty. I know that's the only time where a goalkeeper looks bad if the ball flips underneath him.
Yeah, very true. I wrote on my notes. It's an awful attempt to make a save. I wasn't very happy about that, but he did make himself make up for it. He made 2 really, really good saves not long after that. One in particular from Skov's shot. He's got down very, very quickly and be able to back that around the corner. Now, if it was 1-0 to Dortmund and he made that save at the 90th minute, people will be talking about that save for years to come. But he'd already made his mistakes from beforehand anyway. So I think that's where he sort of gets let down a little bit.
Although he conceded 4 goals, he was in the squad of the week after yesterday's match day from Sky.
Let's talk about Union Berlin because Union Berlin they condemned Dusseldorf to the drop with a 3-0 win. So Dusseldorf, they now landed in 17th place. And they will be playing Bundesliga Football Zwei next year. Uja from a corner. I'll put shock because how often do Union Berlin score from set pieces? Now, such a set piece team is unreal. I think that's their 9th goal from a corner or 10th goal from corners this year.
But it's the best chances they get because they're not a good team.
It needed a bit of goal line technology initially to prove that it was Uja's goal, but it was bundled in just after anyway. So we all knew that goal was going to stand. Gentner with Uja's assist. I don't really like Uja. He's like one of those sort of like cult heroes, but he's not a very good footballer.
Nah, he isn't. And when he had the first opportunity to switch to China to gain a little more money, he took this one in 5 or 6 years ago. Struggled there like every player struggling in China, and came back to Bundesliga. And I don't know what the teams see in him. He's just like average.
It's just a lump. It's not a good lump either. We're like I had to mention him because the actual finish from Gentner was really good, but it just. I think Uja was like sort of like trying to take it into his stride and then do something. It just bounced off him and fell in the path of Gentner. And it's like, mate, you didn't actually plan to do that. But he'll like on records, it will show that it will be an Uja assist. And who knows? Great left foot strike, but yeah, it was a goal. The final goal from Abdullahi. It was almost like that they didn't want to do it because the counter attack. It was hanging on the right hand side. It was like Becker who had it on the right hand side, and he was slowly walking with the ball. It was like 89th minute, 90th minute. It's like, no, I don't really want this. But then he found Gentner who laid it off to Abdullahi, and I was like, that's actually pretty good. I think Dusseldorf already knew what was happening at that point. They didn't look like they were part of the game in any way, shape or form, did they?
No, they didn't. They were very desperate at the end. I believe after the 80th minute, the goalkeeper came forward with every opportunity he had, every corner which was taken.
Oh, just lost Flo there. I'm sure he'll be back in a couple of moments. There he is. Don't know what happened there, son. Welcome back.
Yeah, and I don't know, nothing to add to that.
And there you go. And they're condemned to the drop. And they're down. And the team that are that are going to be playing in the playoff game. Before we talk about the playoff game, because there's a massive game today, isn't there? Arminia Bielefeld at home against Heidenheim, who are currently in currently in third place. Fourth place, third place. I'll get a table up. Heidenheim are third, yes. So a win will guarantee them a playoff place against Werder Bremen, who I don't know which Bremen side turned up yesterday, but they absolutely slapped Cologne 6-1. Goals from Misako, we got a bracer. Rashika, Fulkrug, Klaassen and Sargent all scored for Bremen. And there was one that was brought back by Drexler for Cologne. But Werder Bremen were on the front foot from the get-go, and they went for it, didn't they?
They did, but as I mentioned before, what Cologne was playing in this match was an absolute shame.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also in an objective way. Everyone knows I hate Cologne because they're all rivals, but the way they were playing is such a shame. It's such an important match. And the goalkeeper, Timo Horn, who's originally from the town, and Cologne and Düsseldorf are also big rivals, also the cities. Yeah. I was saying in advance, like, okay, it would be better if we lose, so Düsseldorf could relegate. Yeah, and then he concedes the second goal, where he jumps in the completely opposite direction.
Yeah, I was thinking that. When I saw it. It's like, hold on a minute, what brown envelopes are knocking around here?
I have lost the last tiny piece of respect I had for this club and these players. Unbelievable.
Flo's head's gone.
Bremen did a good job, and they played patient, and you saw in their eyes that they wanted to stay in the Bundesliga. But Cologne is just a piece of shit.
I mean, Osako, I quite like him. To be honest, there's not many Bremen players that I don't really like. And it just frustrates me when I see them play like this. It's like, where were you at the beginning of the season? Where was your passion? Where was your drive? Where was your determination when you were losing silly games or dropping points at Frankfurt or at Paderborn and things like that? Do you know what I mean? It's just I didn't understand it. Why have they waited until now, so to speak? But
they scored 2 goals in the last 10 home matches, and now they scored 6 in one. So
yeah,
exactly. What's happening here? Is it possible?
The third goal was my favourite goal. The Fulkrug. Is that the Fulkrug one? Yes, yeah. The Fulkrug one. And where he sort of like cut it back across, and he sort of like hit it. It's not really on the volley as such because it was like bouncing, but he hit it first time just on the skid. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty tidy, that is. Rashika had a really good game. He got himself on the score sheet. He made a couple of really good runs as well. And then, Osako made it 5-0 with a cutback. Hit it first time. That was nice. And then I don't think they had any form of panic when Drexler made it 5-1 on the counter-attack. But Sargent made sure it was put to bed. And just the determination in that build-up for that goal, I was like, wow, you really do want it. And it was nice. It was nice to see. But yeah, Bremen, they will be playing what looks like Heidenheim if they pick up a victory today. But is it Karlsruhe in fourth?
It's Hamburg in fourth.
Hamburg in fourth, sorry, yes.
I hope, of course, Hamburg will be able to go on the playoff spot.
Yeah, you want Hamburg, but
the matchup Hamburg against Bremen would be massive in the
playoffs. My God, yeah. What a shame that there won't be any fans for that game, because
I'm sure there will be.
That's a Bundesliga game.
The stadium.
That is
Yeah,
a
it
big
is.
Bundesliga game, and that's got a lot of rich history. Both teams have got lots of success from back in the day, especially in the early 80s.
Yeah, both European Cup winners. Hamburg Champions Cup winner 83, Bremen Cup winner in 93. And
Yeah.
now Hamburg was champion in the early 80s. Afterwards, Bremen was two big numbers, two big names in German football. In the all-time Bundesliga table, it's like Bremen is third, Hamburg is fourth, and two massive names, two cities who have to play or deserve to play in the Bundesliga, and now they maybe play the playoff match.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because one of them will not be playing Bundesliga football next year, and yeah, I would rather it be. To be honest, I'd rather it be Heidenheim versus Bremen because Bremen have more chance of winning that. I think they need to stay up. They're a good side. I do like them. Frankfurt. Let's talk about Frankfurt. They were 3-2 winners over Paderborn, who are already relegated. We know that anyway. Seb Roeder.
And your favorite strikers.
Oh, my favourite strike duo. Andre Silva and Bas Dost both got on the score sheet. Christ alive, honestly. What I'm actually looking for, what I'm happy about being the last game of the season, is the fact that I haven't got to look at Bas Dost or Andre Silva until the new season.
You will see them at least maybe one time in the Europa League when they play against Basel, the rematch.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, see how that one goes along. Roder's goal. He struck that quite nicely, but it was a clash of heads. So I think the referee should have stopped play because it was head injury for two players, two defenders for Paderborn that were down on the ground in the box. Got to stop the game immediately.
Yeah, maybe, but I guess it was just too fast for the referee to react. You know, you have the situation they're both fighting for the ball in the air. Ball comes down to Roder, and Roder immediately tried to score and scored. If I would have been the referee, I wouldn't have stopped the game. Yeah,
you would have got absolutely marked down. If I'm refereeing that game, I'm stopping the game. Head injury. As soon as you realise it's a head injury, you've got to stop the game dead. Don't matter where the ball is, you've got to stop the game dead and find out what's going on.
Fast to realise for the referee.
Yeah. If he hasn't realised, he hasn't realised.
It would have been too fast for me.
Yeah, but it depends how much money I had on the game. Joking. Andre Silva, he scored. It's typical Andre Silva at the moment. Just, is inside 6 yards. He just seems to be left in space now. So I don't know whether that's really good movement or the fact that he's playing against absolute dross. I like to say it's option 2 because I can't bring myself to admit that he's done really well since the restart. I haven't got it in me to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he scored for Frankfurt this year, 25 games in the Bundesliga, 12 goals, 5 assists, which is a pretty decent statistic.
Yeah, exactly, and 9 of those goals, I believe, have come since the restart.
Yeah,
which is pretty damn impressive. I'll have to give him that. Bas Dost. Bloody hell. But to be fair, it's another good start. The amount of goals that were scored this weekend where it was... This is how I play FIFA because I'm not very good at doing all this finesse stuff. I haven't got a PS4 or anything like that. I haven't had a PlayStation since a PS2. But when I do play FIFA, because the buttons are still the same and there's just so much complication now, what I do, I run down the wing, I cut it back, and I just sweep it home. And the amount of goals that were scored like that this weekend in the Bundesliga, there was there was a couple in the Bremen game. There was one here with Bas Dost. There was one in the Bremen in the Berlin game, in the Bayern game. Literally just on the edge of the 18-yard box on the goal line, just cutting it back, first time sweep. There you go, and that was 3-0. Draga made it 3-1, and then Michel made it 3-2 with a really smooth finish. It didn't really matter because the table was already panned out for Frankfurt and Paderborn. Paderborn remained rock bottom of the league. And then Frankfurt, they came 9th? 10th.
Yeah. Ninth.
Ninth. There you go. I haven't got a table today. Only 2 games left to talk about. We've got Freiburg, who were very, very good winners there against Schalke. But we all had this conversation about Schalke and what they're about and what they're well, not what they're trying to achieve, but they're not really trying to achieve a lot because they're getting rid of everyone left, right, and centre. Waldschmidt, he scored a brace. I quite like Waldschmidt. I think he's a good player. Schmidt scored as well on 38 and Höhler just after half time. Waldschmidt, can he make a move somewhere?
I think so. He played a brilliant under-21 championship last year. And he has a lot of potential to develop. I think Freiburg was at the moment the right club for him because it's calm down there and you have the time to develop yourself. And if not this year, I'm sure next year he will take the next step to a bigger club in Germany. Maybe a club like, I don't know, Gladbach, Leverkusen. Those clubs could be interesting for him.
Yeah, I think he's a very, very tidy player. The way he finished it, sort of like on the bundle a little bit and on the bounce, and was able to still find the back of the net. I thought it was he shows a lot of intelligence for such a young lad, and I do like him. The second goal, it looked like a training ground move, which went wrong, but somehow it just eluded everybody. Everybody, and still found the back of the net. Quite surprised by that. Höhler made it 3-0. Poor goalkeeping, and I just think if there's a team that are getting paid off at the moment, I just think it's Schalke because there's some real choice moves that they do, and I'm just thinking. That looks a bit suspect to me, mate. So yeah, that was poor. And then Waldschmidt, very well taken. Left peg across the goalkeeper, made it 4-0. What are Schalke going to do next year?
Relegate.
You reckon they'll go down next year if they don't make changes in terms of management, personnel wise? The squad's just too young. They don't have any experience at all, do they?
And they don't have any money to make the changes. The whole club is lying on the floor, like the fans are rebelling against it because all the leaders of the club sorry, the whole club is I guess I said it's laying off because everyone who's in the top position, the fans can't identify with them. They're doing bad work. Like Clemens Tönnies, I don't know if you guys in England heard about the scandal in his meat factory.
Oh, what?
He's like the president of Schalke, and he's a billionaire with factoring meat, like making sausages and so on.
Yeah.
And his factory is maybe 100 kilometers away from Schalke, so in the north of North Rhine-Westphalia. Mm-hmm. And there was a huge corona outbreak in his factory.
Yes. Oh, I didn't realize he was owner of Schalke. Yeah, we did hear about that, and it's caused a potential new wave, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Your R number's gone up to like 1.79 or something, and you want to make sure that R number's below 1, like 1 being the absolute peak. So it's not great on that front.
And he would have been the only one who would maybe give Schalke a loan or something like that, but no one wants him anymore in the club. The fans don't want him. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, Schalke has lots of debts. They have no European football to convince players coming to Schalke. There's always trouble, always chaos. And just looking at the last couple of seasons, or the last 2 seasons, there were 3 or 4 were really bad. Like last year, they were lucky not to relegate. This year, as you mentioned, they were lucky to have the good form in before Christmas. And now they played, it's unbelievable, 17 games, 1 win. It's horrible.
It's not good enough. And that victory, I was thinking, you know what? They might have turned the corner. Yeah, they might have turned the corner, and they looked hungrier, and they looked more organised that day. And since then, they've just fallen off again, and it's so weird. Some of the players that have played for Schalke over the years, some real big European names. I know some of them are like towards the end of their career, like Raul and things like that. But Manuel Neuer, he was there. Who's he managed to sign? Drexler.
Özil.
It's sad.
Sead Kolasinac, the best of all.
Well, to be fair, his last season at Schalke, he was absolutely incredible. He was in the team of the year, weren't he? The Bundesliga team of the year.
He's quite a good left back. And
he also filled in a centre mid a couple of times as well, didn't he?
And you signed him without a fee. It's the best thing you can do.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Schalke is just so silly that they always, when they have good players, they're not able to give them a long-term contract when they're not in the squad. And since the day they come in the squad, the players play good, the contract ends and they leave, like Nübel, Goretzka, I don't know.
I was going to say Goretzka, is another one. I mean, like if you were to do like a best level, I normally do this with Palermo. Looking at the Palermo side over the years since I've been supporting them in 2006, and if we were to keep our best players that whole time, we would actually be challenging for Serie A. And there's no lie. If you look at that Palermo side, like defensively, we had like Andrea Bazzali, who's gone on to play for Italy and win titles every year for Juventus. His partner at the back was Salman Kjaer, who was at Wolfsburg for a bit. Christian Chagado, right back, he was at Wolfsburg.
World Cup winner.
World Cup winners. You know what I mean? Like we've got we had up front Cavani, Luca Toni, Paulo Dybala, midfielders, Pastore, Josip Ilicic, some real top players. And now we're languishing in Serie D. Well, we just got promoted to Serie C. But you look at Schalke and just if you were to do a best 11 of their players over the years, they would be hard fought battling with Bayern Munich. They really would be. And now we're looking at next season potential that it might be their last season in the Bundesliga for a while. Because if they go down, I can't see them bouncing back either.
Yeah, and going down would just be a logical result in the development of Schalke, because the whole development is declining for years now. The second spot 2 years ago was just slip.
Yeah. So that's Schalke. There has got to be a giant inquest into Schalke in the pre-season. And the final game of our show, which we'll be talking about, is Augsburg 1, Leipzig 2. It feels weird actually not talking about Bayern Munich at the end. We'd like to leave them to the end, but I actually wanted to talk about them this week, so that's different. Timo Werner, his last game for the club, he got himself a brace. Classic Timo Werner goals, weren't they? Just playing off the shoulder, 1-on-1, tidy finish.
Yeah, and it's I know he has 222 Bundesliga games now. I would have loved to see him playing in the Bundesliga for his whole career, because he started so early. He could become maybe the
like an all-time appearance maker.
Yeah, all-time appearance maker, exactly.
And also, I understand why he wants to join Chelsea now, but he can't do anything. He can only train with him. He can't play any games or anything behind closed doors. So I'm really annoyed that he's left Leipzig and not just waited until the end of the Champions League campaign.
Yeah, we were talking about mentality before, and this is a really poor mentality, poor behavior.
Yeah, I mean, like, Chelsea fans will be excited by the prospect of Werner. Everyone's seen him. He scored over 30 goals this year. But at the same time, if your loyalty is cut like that already, what's it going to be like in 2-3 years? There's
when maybe Real Madrid or something.
Exactly. A little sniff that Real Madrid want him is just going to up sticks and go. That's not the type of player that you want at your club. But in the meantime, just go out and get what you need to get, and I'm sure that he'll flourish at Chelsea, especially the way that Chelsea play. I would like to see like a Pulisic on one side, Ziyech on the other side, and then Timo Werner. Or I would like to see maybe like a 4-4, like a 4-2-4, so to speak. But like the front four being almost like in a diamond. So you see like how Firmino is deployed at Liverpool. You know, he sort of plays a bit deeper. He's not your focal number 9 point. He comes back and like links up the players, almost like a false nine almost. You know, I could see Werner doing that sort of work as well, because Werner, when he's playing for Leipzig, he could play anywhere on that front three, and he will also come deep to win the ball and create things for his forward players. So when they've got like Schick playing, he's able to be a hold up guy to give the ball to Schick, or you know, he's got a lot of talent. Or in Nkunku, you know, he'll bring in Nkunku into the game and things like that. So they have got a good player in terms of ability, but in terms of mentality, I'll worry a little bit.
Yeah, nothing to add to that.
Flo, it's been great having you on the Bundesliga show. Next season we'll be hammering the Bundesliga as we have been in the latter end. We actually weren't going to be starting the Bundesliga show until next season, but everything that's happened with COVID and whatever, and we saw the Bundesliga come back first, so we were like, right, okay, let's put it as a little bit of as a pilot, see how we get along with it. And I think it's gone quite well. You know, we've been in contact with a few people over in Germany, like yourself, and you've been able to let people know who we are. You can see all our social media links coming on the bottom of the screen there. It's at @Football on everything. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as the hashtag TUFT. You'll be able to find our stuff. Later on today, 8:30 UK time, so that's 9:30 for you, Flo. Myself and Alex will be back on the air, and we'll be talking about everything that's happened in the FA Cup. Hopefully, my boys be able to beat Sheffield United. I can't see it happening, if I'm honest, because I am just an honest fan. But, you know, I can hope that something good will come of it. But until next time, thank you and goodbye.